change is a completely non-linear system, which means that changes that might have existed even back in 1989 at a rate of, say, 5% per year, they go exponentially up to 25 to 100% per year.
Try something else, okay?
Because the consequences of climate, because what we're seeing now is just the climate change consequences of
I'm gonna
emissions from 1970s. Wait till we see what the climate change consequences from everything we've done from the 2010s to the 2020s are going to be. You ain't seen nothing yet. Look at the Amazon rainforest. Look at how it is.
When do I get to work?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. The Earth is 4 billion years old, approximately.
4.6.
Good. We can agree with that, right? Now, in 4.6 billion years, Earth's climate has gone through many drastic climate changes.
Yeah, but just how many of those are suitable for human life?
Well,
out of those 4.6 billion years.
I'm getting there. 165 million years ago, the dinosaurs disappeared, right? We can agree on that.
Gigantic climate strike causing runaway global cooling.
We can agree with it.
That's what did that.
We can agree with it, right? So far we're in agreement, right? About 10,000 years ago, maybe 15,000 years ago, there was an ice age that killed off the woolly mammoth and saber-toothed tiger. Ice age. No, would we agree with that? Let's stay with that.
Yes, we would agree with that.
Okay, so
were there any fossil fuels being drilled?
Exactly.
Were there any oil wells?
Okay.
No. Was there any industrial revolution? No. Were there 8 billion human beings scrambling for every last natural resource the planet has to offer? No.
Are you talking about 10,000 years ago or today?
I'm talking about today versus 10,000 years ago.
I'm not. I was only talking about 10,000 years ago. I haven't got even close to today.
Okay, well, let's hear your views on today then versus 10,000 years ago.
6,000 years ago, we were still in an ice age. Then, about 2,000 years ago, we had a warming period. And that's when the woolly mammoth died off and the saber-toothed tiger died off. Right? Is that agreed? That's history, isn't it? 2,000 to 3,000 years ago, maybe 6,000 years ago, on a warming period, the woolly mammoth died off. Right? Is that true? Is that true or not?
The woolly mammoth died off actually much earlier than that. After the ice age ended. The woolly mammoths
6,000 years ago. So we can agree with that, right?
Yes.
So I haven't lied about anything so far.
So far, no.
No, exactly my point. Okay? So then we go forward into modern times. AD, modern times, so-called modern. Right? Oh my God. We've got a whole 1,000 years. Even though the Earth's been there for 4.6 billion by your account years.
26.
And we're going into 1,000 years from BC to AD. And it was kind of a warm period. But then guess what? They had medieval times. What were the medieval times about?
I can tell you exactly what caused the Little Ice Age.
Oh, see, there we go.
Yes, I can tell you about that. That was on account of a natural cause. It is known as the Santorini supervolcano of 535 AD, which absolutely obliterated Europe.
Great. Thank you. You just did it. Thank you. That's what I wanted. Thank you. That's what I wanted. It's my turn now. Now it's my turn. Because in geological times of 4.5 billion years, when we're talking about 400 or 500 years, 400 or 500 years. All right. So that sent us into the medieval times, which included tectonic plates, which included the Dark Ages, which was a mini ice age that you just referenced for me. You just referenced it for me. And when did that ice age end?
It ended shortly before the Industrial Revolution started.
In
But how do you account for the...
1980, 1800.
It is my turn. It is my turn now.
Wow.
It is my turn.
In geological terms, how?
How do you
It's
explain that?
1,500 years.
But how
How?
do you 1,500? The difference between
How? In
1,500.
geological, 4.5 billion
It
years.
is my turn. I'm taking the floor now. I
Yes, you
have
got
the
it.
floor.
You got it.
How do you distinguish between a minor thermal
Correct.
minor thermal aberration to the
Absolutely
lower
correct.
side from a supervolcano in 1,500 years to the fact that human activity since the Industrial Revolution has
200
caused within a mere 200 to 250 years has caused CO2 levels in the atmosphere to be higher than they have ever been in the last million years. How do you account for that?
And I account that nature will correct it because you know what? If we take CO2 levels up too high, guess what? We die. Period. We breathe CO2. We are.
We breathe
So-
O2.
so-
if you put a bag over your head,
So,
if you put a bag
in the
over your
end,
head
what we're
and
supposed to
breathe
do.
your own breath,
No.
you're breathing CO2 and you
Well-
suffocate and you die.
Exactly. And so basically, you're advocating killing 4.5 billion people to get our CO2 level down to sustainable levels. You just advocated killing 4.5 billion people to get our CO2 down when plants can replenish. Plant a tree, save a life. Gee, who's the activist here? You or me? I'm saying plant a tree, save a life.
That's
You
exactly what I'm saying. How about we plant 1 trillion trees? Plant 1 trillion
You never
trees.
had a chance.
Plant 1 trillion trees, convert to solar energy, replenish our rainforests, build windmills build windmills, manufacture. I have the
Building
floor.
them, what does it take? It takes chemicals. It takes metals. It takes chemicals to build windmills.
We already have the chemicals from recycling plants.
No,
Did
we
you
don't.
know that the average
I work in race
I have the
management.
floor. I have the
I
floor.
work
I have
in
the
it.
floor now.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yes.
I give it to you.
Well, if I have the floor, then why are you still talking?
I'm not. Go.
Thank you. Did you know that the average recycling from the average amount of aluminum thrown out as opposed to recycling would be enough to reproduce the entire world's air capacity 25-fold? If that aluminum were instead recycled, we could build windmills, we could build solar panels. And did you know that for every dollar invested in oil and fossil fuel energy returns less than $1 in investment? However,
Incorrect.
on the other
Incorrect.
hand, every dollar invested in renewable and
Incorrect.
sustainable energy like
That's
wind and
incorrect.
solar
That's an incorrect fact.
can equate to up to $2
No.
in realized income.
Reverse them. I'm sorry, David, but
Do you have any idea how much it costs to hold all that oil and coal sludge in those cesspool ponds next to every filthy coal-fired plant or oil refinery? Do you have any idea how much that costs? But by stark contrast, how much does it cost to put the rays of the sun onto that solar panel? How much does it cost to put the waves of the wind onto that turbine?
David,
Zero.
David.
Zero. Zero.
David, do you know something? I did our solar panels here. I personally,
Then why do you not understand the economics of this plan?
because actually it's a lot more expensive, and I actually physically listed the solar panels. I replaced them in the South Valley, and I replaced them in Santa Fe. I did do it. Don't you get it? I physically went out and worked on solar panels. I know the cost.
Then how do you not know the economic benefits in the long term by mass producing
Eventually
solar?
the benefits are going to be great.
Thank
Eventually.
you.
I said eventually. Just
But
like,
we have to think long term in
David,
terms of this climate
here's the deal.
crisis.
Here's the deal, David. When you're talking about if, maybe, eventually, what do those words mean? If is the biggest word in the dictionary. The biggest.
But
If.
we can advance that eventuality if we take action now, if we are more aggressive in implementing these solutions.
Do you understand? Now I'm going to give you a lecture. I'm going to give you a definition. If is the biggest word in the dictionary. You know that? It's a lousy two-letter word. And it's the absolute biggest word in the dictionary.
Yes, I agree with that.
Because if, I say if all the time, and 90% of the time that if doesn't happen. If, when you say if, alright? It is the biggest word in the dictionary. You
But it's
understand that?
not an if, it's a when.
No.
When
No.
solar energy
No.
becomes
There's a
mass
difference.
produced.
If and when. See, if and when, and you put them together. If and when. Put the and in there. If and when. See, that's